Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
70,000 people are here, and Bob Dylan is the reason for it.
Inspired by their true story.
If anyone is going to hold your attention on a stage, you have to kind of be a freak.
Are you a freak?
Hope so.
And starring Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. He defied everyone.
Turn it down!
Play loud!
To change everything.
Make some noise, BD.
Timothée Chalamet, Edward Norton, Elle Fanning, Monica Barbaro. A complete unknown. Only in theaters Christmas Day. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
Hi, and welcome back to Undertow, Realm's podcast that winds down roads both weird and wicked. I'm your host, Fred Greenhalgh, and also the director of today's show, The Devil's Chair. This is a two-parter. Today is the second part, so do be sure to go back to listen to part one before you listen to today's episode. You'd be very confused. In part one, we were following Dearbhla Ashe in her struggling artist phase, leaving Ireland to travel to America to try and make it as a stand-up comic. She made it as far as down East Maine, where she's grinding through the same routine night after night at a sleepy coastal hotel. But Dearbhla's world has just been turned upside down by a new rival, the talented young comedian Aisling. Will she mentor this budding talent, or will something darker and more nefarious happen? We will find out as we go deeper into the Undertow for part 2 of The Devil's Chair.
Okay, here's a riddle. You're rebuilding in the aftermath of a cataclysm, choosing everyone's essential purpose in the community. How high on the list do you put comedian? Okay, now how high on the list do you put a second comedian? She was better than me, nicer than me. She was the manager's niece. And she was everywhere. Giggling with the staff, laughing with her audience, snorting with hilarity at the fire escape as the drummer told her why he's not allowed on Greyhound buses anymore. Every time I was near her, I could feel my flesh sag, my bones get heavy, like her youth had its own gravitational pull. I wasn't sleeping. I hoped walking would tire me out, but no dice. The sounds of the old building, the ache in my mouth. Everyone knew what was going to happen. And then it did. Every so often, we had an after-show meeting with the entertainment officer. We took them very seriously. But that night, the entertainment officer finished whittering through the contents of her clipboard and said, Dearbhla, we want Aisling to get as much experience as she can while she's here. So we're going to give her the stage time and redeploy you to harness your skills in a different capacity. Redeploy. Now, what does that mean? I'll tell you what it meant. It meant Irish culture nights at the Estes Hotel. Learn to dance an Irish jig. How to say hello in Irish. I'd be hosting and teaching and smiling. I would my fucking hole. She picked up her clipboard and started talking logistics. I walked out because Christ knows what I'd have said if I'd stayed. Didn't realize the magician had followed me on my rampage. She told me to wait, to hang on a second. Can you believe this shit? I snapped, I snarled, I spat, thought I'd get rolled eyes on my behalf, maybe a sympathetic nod. I didn't expect to be told to stop acting like a child. They had been planning on firing me, but the magician had explained about my teeth. I know you need the money. she said. If she wasn't here, if that child hadn't been handed this gig on a silver platter. I stopped when I saw the magician's face. It was all there, the full spectrum of my behaviour, my performance, my prospects, in one split second of pity and disgust. Derv, you have a chance to foster real talent. She's good. Don't you want to help her be great? I had to get away. Calm down. The entertainment officer was stalking the halls, clipboard in hand. If she said one more word, I'd quit on the spot. And that wasn't an option. I needed the money. The drummer tossed me his keys with the classic, "Mind what side of the road you're on." I didn't know where I was. Fuck! Aisling jumped in front of the headlights, grinning like a loon. What the fuck was she thinking? Drive, Aisling tells me, climbing into the passenger seat, laughing, eyes bright, high colour in her cheeks. She's right behind me. She wants us to do set dancing. Drive! I was about to tell her where to take a running jump, but in the rear-view mirror I spotted a reedy silhouette with a clipboard standing in the doorway. The entertainment officer saw the car, started hurrying down the steps towards us. If she said one fucking word to me... Oh. The road was dark and wet. All looming pines and walls of fog. Perfect conditions for a brooding drive through the night, except that Aisling wouldn't shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ! If only there had been time to kick her out of the car. All I wanted was to be pissed off in silence, and I was stuck with this child, banging on and on about what it was like for us. We comedians, joking about bad crowds like she'd any idea what a bad crowd was. I wanted to hurt her, to knock some dents into the new of her. She was so young and clean and content in her own talent. She twisted in her seat, eyes all shiny, and asked if I had any feedback for her. And I spat broken glass at that girl. Every flub I magnified, every bad line I eviscerated. I called her a fool, an idiot, that she would have the gall to get on a plane because she's so special. She'll make it in America. Do you know what you have? You've some fucking notions. The look on her face. She might have been trying to be my friend, actually. I was looking at her face, so I wasn't looking at the road. I was on the right side. I know I was on the right. Blood in my eyes, my mouth. The dog was whining and I was 9 years old and my mum was pulling me out of the house. It was so early, it was dark, and I wasn't supposed to make any noise, not supposed to wake my dad, or he'd get angry and start slapping, and she was pulling my arm so hard, and I started crying, and my dog was whining and then barking, and Dad was going to wake, but then my mum took the dog behind the wall, and the barking stopped, and I think Mum did something to her. She did something to Ruth. Our car was a mangled accordion, but the van that hit us, it was pristine. A Ford Ecoline. Deja vu. Scooby-Doo. A sticky mess crumbled in the headlights, all blood and broken glass. She didn't put on her seatbelt. The fog started to clear. It started to clear a path off the road. I could see it. Hillside cemetery. A sloping open field of gravestones. I was so scared. Everything was wrong. But Aisling was dead. And I knew where I was supposed to go. I was 5 years old again, and every grave was as high as I was. They jutted and angled in the dark like broken teeth. And then I saw it. The path up a slope towards the thicket of trees. That's where you were supposed to go in the story. The path off the cemetery that leads to the rock. And the stories didn't say anything about actually sitting on it. So I sat, okay? Yeah, I fucking sat. My leg was fucked. I was so tired. I didn't know it. He walked out of the trees to meet me. Happy. Harmless. Still wearing his floppy fishing hat. He smiled, and every tooth was black. His breath was the hot stink of a dead ocean. The depths of the crab bucket. Thin lips pulled back from rows of black teeth. His face moved wrong, like dead flesh twitched by an electric current. "Sure 'tis yourself," he said. "I was fierce sorry to have missed your show. But you know, I had an old feeling we'd be meeting here." "Am I dead?" He laughed. The stench hit me in the face. Rotting carcasses, clogged sewers. He had something in his hands, a flat, sharp rock he turned over and over in his long, white fingers. "No, you're not dead," he tells me. "You're here to ask for what you want." I want Aisling. I want her to be okay. Don't lie to me, Dearbhla. No, I do. I want her to be okay. He laughed again. "No," he told me. "That's not what you want. You want it to be the end. And you want it to have been worth it. Every empty stare at a motel wall. Every sink filled with dirty clothes. Every day and every night spent alone. Every single person you shook from yourself like a dog with fleas. Running away to America with your mother's checkbook? Oh, you'd want that to be worth it, wouldn't you? The years of silence, years of telling yourself you needed to have the money to pay her back. But you knew you couldn't speak to that woman until it was to rub your success in her face. Well, you didn't go home for the funeral because what was the point? And where was the money for the plane ticket? But she was sick for a while, wasn't she, Dearbhla? Stop. Oh, she made some awful noises in the end. Stop! He stood there. So calm. Little smile on his dead mouth. Still spinning that stone over and over in fingers, the pale white granite of a gravestone. "Or maybe you have regrets," he said. "Maybe none of it was worth it after all." That's when it was supposed to happen. Good was supposed to triumph over evil. I was supposed to solve the riddle or do something clever. But I'm not clever. And I'm not good. I didn't know how to trick the devil. So I told the truth. It was worth it. Because it's worth anything. Everything. Anything I did, everything I lost. It's worth all the lives I'll never lead, because I only want the one where I'm adored. I want them out of their seats, roaring, clapping till their palms bleed. I want every second of their attention, every eye on me, holding their breath when I speak. I want to live in their minds and their hearts and in the tickets in their hands, because that's how you live forever. His mouth, his smile, it got bigger and bigger. And what will you do to get it, Dearbhla? After all, you know how to get it, don't you? His black teeth, and his wide smile, and the slack flesh of his face. What do you want? No, I told him, no, I want to save Aisling. And he started walking to me. He held out his hand. I was so scared he'd touch me. Tell the truth, Dearbhla. Look at me. What do you want? I couldn't move. I jerked my head down. I tucked my nails into my legs. Aisling! Save Aisling! And then there was this sound. Wet and insectile. Look at me, he said. And I knew if I did, something bad would happen. Something so bad. Look at me. I did. I looked at him.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. So that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
This episode is brought to you by Etsy.
Oh.
Hear that?
Okay. Thank you.
Etsy knows these aren't the sounds of holiday gifting. Well, not the ones you're hoping for. You want squeals of delight. Happy tears.
How Did you?
And spontaneously written songs of joy.
I am so happy. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, the song needs a bit of work, but anyway, to get those reactions, make sure everyone on your list feels heard with handmade, handpicked, and designed gifts from small shops on Etsy. Gifts like personalized jewelry, custom artwork, cozy style items, vintage pieces, and home decor to celebrate all of your favorite people and their specific kind of special. For original gifts that say, I get you, Etsy has it.
And then I was standing back at the car. Like no time at all had passed. Alone. No. Not alone. Aisling. Her eyes fluttered open. She was alive. Oh, it was still bad, but she was breathing. She was awake. Her eyes focused on me, jaw trembling as she tried to speak. The fog had lifted. I could see lights just down the road, a knock on a door, a phone call, an ambulance. I could just... Aisling lifted her arm, reaching for me. I knelt down and she smiled at me. Blood in her mouth, and she still smiled. There was a flat, sharp rock in my hand. She smiled at me, and I need some water. Can I get some water? And a chair. I need... Hello? Can I get house lights up? Hey! I want house lights up! Turn on the fucking lights! Okay. Fine. Sometimes all you can do is laugh. What do you do when you can't do that? After that, the car was fine. I was fine. Like it never happened. Aisling was gone. I was alone. I got into the car. I drove back to the hotel. It was late, but a hotel is never empty, never quiet. I tried to get back to my room, rounded a corner and walked straight into the entertainment officer. She looked shocked, and in that half second I glanced down, expecting to see blood all over my shirt, my jeans. But it was still gone, if it had ever been there. I had just startled her when I came around the corner, that's all. She asked me if I had decided about the set dancing, and that she was willing to negotiate an extra rate on top of my pay for the comedy shows. What about Aisling? A spasm of confusion. Who? She asked. I went to my room and I went to bed. I slept. Shock, maybe. Or maybe because the pain had stopped. My mouth was fine. I had a nightmare. I was in my hotel room with Aisling. She was helping me with my set. She was laughing. Only she couldn't make the right sound. The way I hit her, it knocked off a lot of her jaw. Yeah, I know. No, it's kind of funny. This girl with blood all down her front and in her eyes, all scary, but she's making this bubbly, choking noise because she's trying to laugh with no jaw. Imagine. Now imagine you're alone. There's no public transport in Eastport, but I had been doing a fair bit of walking at that stage. I walked and hitchhiked to Calais and then took the Calais-Bangor intercity bus route, $27 one way, which was more or less the last of what I had. Didn't bother to pick up my paycheck. I hung around long enough to calmly hand the drummer back his keys when he surfaced at the crack of noon. The magician stopped me before I left. I think she said something about pride, but then she must have seen something on my face. She stopped talking, watched me go. There's 3 Irish bars in Bangor, one of which claims to serve a fusion of Maine cuisine with an Irish twist. I worked at the shite one for about 4 months. And then one Friday night, I come in and there's a mic and speakers. And the owner says he's heard I do stand-up. And he shoves the mic at me. I could have said no. You know what happened next. Overnight success. I get an agent, a manager, a publicist. The crowds get bigger and bigger, and so do the stages, which is so stupid. What am I supposed to do with all this space? And then I didn't know. There was a difference between attention and connection. You think you want attention, but maybe you just want not for someone to be looking at you, but for them to see you. It happened bit by bit. No one, I don't know how to put it. No one was ever happy to see me. Even when they had to talk to me, like if I was buying something off them, it was with this flat politeness. This barely contained irritation. I could be handing them $100 bills and they'd still look at me like they were waiting for me to stop talking. I swear, in those days I fell in love with everyone I met. That's a joke. Then it got worse. I started missing time between shows. I'm on tour. I'm always on tour. I never see anyone. I don't know where I am. But I keep doing it. Because you're the only ones happy to see me. My audience. That's what kept me going. My audience is always so happy to see me. My audience who laughs at everything, no matter what I say. You laugh, and the lights are always in my eyes, so I can't see you. Are you real? No. I don't think you're real. And I don't want to do this anymore. I did it! I opened up, I told the truth, I learned my lesson, it's over. I did it! Let me go!
And what did I tell you? Put your hands together for Dearbhla Ashe performing Burn It to Ash, the final show.
Yes. Yes.
We are slap bang in the middle of the final show tour, which continues on and on and on and on and on. We're in New York, Las Vegas, Atlantic City, the city of Disc, Pandemonium, Hades, and Fern, Lotus, and many, many more.
No. How long have I... How many times have I done this? No, I quit. I quit. This is my last show. No, stop. Stop laughing.
Get tickets while you still can. Just kidding. The show goes on forever and ever and ever.
No. This is my last show. No. This is my last show. No.
And that was The Devil's Chair, Part 2, leaving us with an important lesson about being careful what you wish for, who you wish it from, and whether to be generally nice to other people. Hope you enjoyed it. The Devil's Chair was written by Méabh Brún, starring Méabh Brún as Dearbhla Ashe, directed by Fred Greenhalgh, produced by Fred Greenhalgh and Ella Watts. Dialogue editing, sound design, and music by Catherine Seaton. Recorded at Soundcaster Studios in Dublin, Ireland. Undertow is a production of Realm, hosted by Fred Greenhalgh, produced by Nicole Kreutter, associate produced by Devin Shepard, executive produced by Fred Greenhalgh and Molly Barton. Theme by Hubert Campbell. Find more shows like Undertow on Apple, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are served.
You should listen to the GamesIndustry.biz microcast.
More people are playing games than ever before. They've never been more popular, and yet the business behind it is facing some real challenges and changes.
There's been tens of thousands of layoffs, hundreds of studio closures as major companies face rising costs and falling sales.
There's uncertainty around the future of game consoles.
There's legal and government intervention into how games are even being paid for.
The role of AI is changing how games are being made.
There's the impact of games like Fortnite and Roblox dominating everyone's time.
And then there's the desperate wait for Switch 2 and GTA 6, and that's just 2024.
Two leading business journalists with a combined 35 years of experience offer you a weekly guide through all of this and more.
I'm Christopher Dring, head of GamesIndustry.biz.
I'm James Batchelor, editor-in-chief of GamesIndustry.biz, and you can join us every Monday for the GamesIndustry.biz microcast.
The most important stories,
expert guests,
exclusive market data,
and all in less than 30 minutes.
Usually.
The GamesIndustry.biz microcast every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You are now entering Springfield. Where's the body?
Off the side of the ditch down there.
Hello?
You know, surrounded by all this crime scene tape.
Hello? Am I dead?
My name is John. I'm the new forensic pathologist. I can see you, and that's how we'll figure out how you were murdered.
He took this away from all of us!
31-year-old female, pronounced dead on the scene approximately 3 a.m. after a 911 call. File number 3367.
Male, impaled on a construction site.
I'm dead, John. This is about the last amount of fun I'll have.
Case number 1017.
A wife blended her husband in a wet vac.
Case number
Case 2457.
Not dead. I can't be dead.
It's okay. It's just you and me now.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, no one. Let's keep this between us, huh? Listen to How I Died, a full-cast police and medical procedural with over 40 episodes available now on all podcast apps.